My name is Bud Price, and I'm a IT director here at Brown Strauss Steel. Brown Strauss is a distributor of structural steel, which includes everything from the steel beams for houses to large buildings, bridges, different things like that. Sure. So we were at a point where I was having trouble hiring people, and we took a look at the skill set, or the amount of people out there with the skill sets that we needed for our current ERP system. It was a homegrown system. And that was diminishing rapidly. Most had retired, and in the next couple of years, a lot more were going to be retiring. So we saw that as a risk, and we also knew that it was a system that wasn't meeting a lot of the needs that we had. So we thought it'd be a good idea to do it sooner than later, so that we weren't up, painting ourselves in a corner, so to speak. So that was a little process on our side. We used the executive steering committee to come up with some criteria on how we choose somebody. The things that we were looking for was somebody with a local presence, somebody that wasn't too big so that we don't get lost in the shuffle, and somebody that doesn't represent, they're kind of agnostic, if you will. They don't represent a specific ERP product or a short list of ERP products that they work with, because we had some outliers that we wanted to look at that were steel specific. And so ERP Advisors Group met all of that criteria for us. So they walked us through the selection, and kind of helped us out there. They had a lot of expertise in a lot of the ERP software that was on the market. They've done several projects where they've implemented different ones, so they were pretty knowledgeable about what was available, who the leaders were in the industry, what decisions other companies were making and why. So we relied on them heavily for that. Some of our team members had their own experiences with different products and, had some ups and downs with those, but we really needed somebody with that full understanding. And so they walked us through the choice. They helped us with the contracts, and now they're helping us with manage the project with the implementation team. So we made a conscious decision to choose them again at each phase, and I think we're going to use them for the full project lifecycle. So they came in and kind of told us their process, and then they started executing on it. It didn't require a ton from me or from us, but they did take the time to ask the right questions and kind of learn about our business and find out what our needs were. From there, I think we started with a group of 20 different ERPs that were available, and they were able to narrow the field down to 3. Based on their feedback. They gave them some specific questions to answer about their products and how their businesses were. Our executive steering committee had I think each individual on that team had something different that everybody was hoping to get out of that. For example, Ryan, our president, he wanted something that was going to last for a long time, so we wanted a company that was stable. We didn't have to do this again in 5 years. We actually had one company that came back and said, "We're end of life next year. Do you still want to talk to us?" Some of them were easy, some of them were harder, but ERP Advisors Group kind of guided us down to and narrowed the list down to 3 that really fit us fairly well. So. The goals and objectives, first off was really we just needed to get off this platform because it was becoming a risk. But it seemed like each individual on the executive steering committee had a different take on what they personally were looking for. For example, our president wanted something that was going to be long-lasting. He wanted a company he could count on to be there in 10 or 15 years if we stay on this product for a long time. I was looking for a good implementation team on the IT side, somebody that I know I could depend on and that was going to try and stick to the project plan. Finance was a little bit more of a slam dunk for them. There's that's a little bit easier, but really we've got a lot of particular users that are going to be retiring soon. They helped build the original system, so they've been with the company for 30 years. And so they helped build the original system. So there's a lot of knowledge that's going to be retiring soon, and we wanted to make sure we captured that as well. So that's part of that, part of the timing, as well as, making sure that we caught that before they all retired, all of that knowledge. They had a great process where they came in and followed their process step by step, made it easy to understand, gave the presentations that we needed to see, asked the right questions, talked to the right people. And, when we came down to the 3, then we did the demos and we examined them real good. They were very excellent about giving their opinions on to help us come to a final decision. I'm confident that we made the right decision with their help. I think the whole company is confident that we made the right decision, based on what we've seen so far. That's a real good question. They actually did an analysis, and they interviewed department heads and subject matter experts on an individual basis, and went through every area of the company. It didn't take a long time. It wasn't a huge process, but they were able to capitalize on the time and get down to the issues, and then kind of score our company as a whole on, and they really came up with some red flags that said, these are the reasons why you need to move on to a new system, and made that very plain to us, and it all made sense. It was it was more eye-opening. I think there was some people that they kind of knew or thought, but they didn't know why. And so the process they followed and the documents they came out with and the presentation they gave kind of nailed it and said, these are the specific reasons why we're at risk where we're at.